and Jimmy Moran, who had the amusements in Portrush, he really helped to get the local businesses and things involved, and that was really good. You know, without their help, there would have been definitely no Northwest.
It's going to be Robbie Dunlop grabbing his first win of the weekend.
Just as Joey Dunlop dominated the 80s, Robert dominated the early 90s, with 4 hat-tricks in the space of 5 years.
He was the king of the treble, and he, in my opinion, was the biggest and most popular name at the Northwest 200. He rode at the Northwest in 1994, and then he had a terrible crash in the Isle of Man, which could have knocked him out for good. But Robert persisted, but he was an amazing character, very much amazing.
1990 was the year Mary Robinson became the first female president of Ireland. Liz Skinner from Chester became the first female rider to take part in the Northwest.
The only place I found it a bit iffy was the bumps after you come out the roundabout. I didn't like those at all.
Tandrick E-man Philip McCallan arrived in 1992 hoping to do well.
I started off that morning, you know, really thinking if we got on the rostrum or maybe got a win, it would have been good.
Number 9, McCallan leads from Robert Dunlop. Somewhere behind them is Alan Irwin in 3rd place.
I couldn't believe it. I was just getting sort of excited or realising I got my first win when it was time to get off the rostrum, get on the bike for the next race.
And McCallan is going to take his 2nd race of the day, the opening Superbike race. There it is.
I was competing in 6 races that day, so there was no breathing space, there was no time even to think.
McCallan is going to get his record 3rd win. He now equals the record along with Robert Dunlop from last year. Twice I lost it completely sideways and thought, this is it, but I don't know how I held on.
I was exhausted mentally and physically.
Here we are at the start and finish. Yes, McCallan still gets it from Johnny Ray in 2nd place. 3rd place is Steve Lindell. He's 4th back.
To compete in 5-6 races on 4 different machines, is the mental torture of that is really, really hard.
Can McCallan answer what? Oh, and McCallan can't. He loses the front wheel. McCallan is not going to make it 5 in a row.
But I remember thinking, this is a rest, and let me rest for as long as I can. I had to get back fast if I'm going to be out in the next race.
Into the start and finish again to take the win of the Northwest 200. And really any man that can win 5 races almost on the trot round here. A superb effort indeed.
That's the first time I met Miss Northwest.
So I got to meet him quite often on the podium, and we just became firm friends then for a few years. And then it just blossomed into more of a serious relationship.
Then after that, the rest history.
The happy couple was married 4 years later. Guest of honour was Joey Dunlop. English rider, soon to be crowned World Superbike champion Carl Fogarty had been coming to the Northwest for 6 years, but hadn't been lucky enough to make it to the top of the podium.
I was a bit negative about the whole thing, thinking, well, the usual thing will happen tomorrow. I'll be leading and I'll break down or something like that, you know. And somebody said, I can't remember who it was now, one of the Irish officials said, you need a bit of Irish, look you boy, you wear something green tomorrow. Straight away I thought, I'm going to do it. And the only thing I could find was McCall's green vest. It was good. She was pregnant, so I put a green vest on under my leathers, and as they said, the rest is history. I won both races and set a new lap record, and the green vest stayed with me for the rest of my career.
1994 was the year of the IRA ceasefire, and the year Robert Dunlop got his 4th treble in 5 years. 5 years later, as we celebrated the opening of the Power Sharing Executive, there wasn't much to celebrate at the Northwest, as for the first time in 24 years, there was no Irish winner, with Englishman David Jeffries winning 3 of the 6 races. The year 2000 was sadly Joey Dunlop's last appearance at the Northwest, and the 30th year in charge for Billy Nutt.
In 2000, we had real good days racing. Everything had gone great, and Mervyn White and George Harrigan were standing as usual, and I went up to them and shook their hand and said, "Right, that's it, I'm finished." And away I went. That was it.
After 3 decades working for the North West, Billy Nutt was awarded the MBE for services to motorsport. The man who took over was Mervyn White.
We have an excellent management team who have a massive amount of ownership for the Northwest 200, as well as all the people who come along to the event, from your marshals to your medical people to your scrutineers, no matter who it is. I can be the figurehead, if you like, of the Northwest 200, but unless I have all those various management team personnel, then the event just wouldn't go.
The executive's current foot and mouth guidelines say that while sporting events are allowed, large gatherings of people close to farmland should not take place.
For the first time since 1972, racing was cancelled in 2001.
Michael Rodder has done it. He's cracked the 200-mile barrier. 201, absolutely incredible.
It was just an amazing kind of feeling. It was, it's so hard to explain, but it was put your head up above the screen and you blew your head off.
I was in the signal area just past the start finish, and I just couldn't believe it. Marvellous, fantastic.
Beyond that amount of steering machine at 200 miles an hour with one pressure, I don't know how they do it. Just have a little patience.
In the heatwave of 2006, after a wait of 12 years, Robert Dunlop finally got his record-breaking 15th win.
45 years old. Well, I don't think we could do it.
A year later, the BBC took over televising the Northwest, and for the first time made live racing available over the internet to a worldwide audience.
We're now looking at the number 6 bike of William Dunlop on the PJ Flynn Honda. He's running in about 5th place. There's his father, Robert Dunlop, on the number 40 bike.
2008 was set to be a magnificent year for the Dunlops, with father Robert and sons William and Michael entering the event. But fate intervened.
Moments after these pictures were taken, the 47-year-old was flung off his bike at around 150 miles per hour. He was then taken to Colerane's Causeway Hospital before being pronounced dead at approximately 10:15. William and Michael also took part in last night's practice. At this stage, it's unclear whether or not they will compete tomorrow.
I spoke to William on the Friday evening. I said to him, "What you want to do?" And he was adamant that he was going to go racing, and I said, "Well, I'll go with him."
It was something I sort of had to do. It might sound selfish, but it wasn't nothing to do with my father. I wasn't going out to try and win for him. It was, to be honest, I really wanted to win a 250 race before it had gone, and I would never forgive myself if I never got it, so I was going to do it anyway, and it just sort of fell into place, and we all sort of went with it.
Robert is a wonderful ambassador for the Northwest 200 and for Northern Ireland, and we believe he would have wished the event to go ahead.
They'd obviously heard us coming, so they had a committee meeting, and it was 3-2 past that I wasn't allowed to race.
I said, "William, get on the grid," so the next time the two of us landed in the grid.
Less than 48 hours after their father lost his life on this circuit, Michael and William Dunlop were back on the grid.
There was people grabbing for interviews, and I just wanted to get my head down, because it was always the same question: how do you feel? Why are you doing it? What I feel you don't know unless it's happened to you, so no point in me explaining that to you, and why I'm doing it you'll find out now in about 10 minutes time.
As Michael Dunlop tries to overcome his emotions, it's hard to believe this race could become any more dramatic. William Dunlop is out of the race, so Michael's elder brother has broken down on the warm-up lap and is out of the race.
I was absolutely gutted, because I'd put so much effort, and I knew when that had happened that was it.
Everything hangs now with Michael Dunlop in the middle of the front row. And a good start from Michael Dunlop there. What is going on in this young man's head as he leaves the grid for the first time?
That first lap I just got down, got my head down and went for it.
There was a number of occasions where I just couldn't watch it at all. I had to look away, particularly on the coast road.
Oh! Back wheel off the ground for Michael Dunlop.
It was just hard to take in.
There is no opportunity given to Dunlop. Oh yes there is. Smoking runs wide and the crowd have gone berserk.
all I heard was screaming. I couldn't even hear the bike at all. I could hear people roaring. The race was mine, you know, I had it won.
As he comes to the line, how emotional will this be? Over 100,000 fans at trackside, and all of them, heart and soul, are with this young man.
I thought it was unbelievable, to be honest, because I could see how much it even meant to the people watching. It was a big deal.
What a hero.
The people were screaming, and it was the reception I got was unbelievable. And I remember John McGuinness coming over to me, and the thing I'll never forget, he just said to me, no one was going to, I wasn't even going to be able to beat you that day. He says, you're on a class of your own.
You know, that was meant to be that day, to see Michael win, and the whole of the, I mean, my head's standing on the back of my head now just thinking about it, you know, but to see Michael to win for Robert, that was a pretty special moment.
The Northwest 200 has meant everything to the generations of riders and fans who have made the event what it is today.
My grandchildren growing up with the race, grandson works at it, son-in-law works at it.
I think the region as a whole has done brilliantly to enhance the thing, where everything is going on in the whole of the area, the whole region.
There's a willingness among the people who live in the area to put up with inconvenience just for the sake of having a race there.
You've got your old boys and your die-hard Northwest supporters, and you know, the new generation of spectators coming as well, and you know, everybody has a real good time.
But there would have been no good times were it not for the men and women who have kept this event going for over 80 years. Following the dreams of those few daring racers all those years ago on the sands of McGilligan Strand.